Cheers! Welcome to Movie Bitches! Episode 260. Today we are reviewing Fire Island. Woo! To celebrate, to kick off Pride Month.
Yes!
Woo. On that note, this episode is brought to you by adammail.com. M-A-L-E. Not like... I mean, I guess you get mail and mail.
It's a little confusing. It's
But it comes through the mail.
Yes.
And it comes through the mail. So Adam Mail is owned by Adam and Eve, but it's a little bit more focused and centered on gay men. Seemed the perfect blend with Fire Island.
Yes. They're probably a sponsor of Fire Island.
Of the island.
Yep.
So if you use the code MOVIE, you get 50% off one item and free shipping on orders over $20 in the US and Canada.
That's a good deal.
It is a good deal. Some items are not eligible for the full discount.
Okay.
So, I don't know if it's like, maybe the 24 karat gold butt plug doesn't count. I don't know. Maybe it does, and that's a screaming good deal.
I want to see that on a tax write-off or something.
124 karat butt plug for photo shoot.
One credit card receipt for Swedish-made penis enlarger, signed by Austin Powers.
That's not mine.
And OnlyFans, you could write it off.
Absolutely.
Love it. Just like Adam and Eve, Adam Mail, 20% of the proceeds go to help fight HIV/AIDS across the world. Very good stuff. And also, this year is their 25th anniversary. So
that's
very exciting
awesome
stuff for them. So we're thrilled to have them as a partner. Go click the link in the description.
Yes.
Or go to adammail.com and type in movie when you go to check out.
I love that.
Yeah.
I wish it was Movie Bitches, I'll be honest.
But
it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I think the Adam and Eve one was Bitches, which is great.
It's pretty great.
So now together it makes Movie Bitches.
This one should be Betches.
Betches. I would say it should be like... They did say the F word. I won't say it because YouTube will get angry. But they did say it a few times in this movie.
Sure.
Fagé.
Oh, I see. I was thinking of the other F word.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, I might get yelled at for this. I feel like that is a word I would really enjoy if it got reclaimed.
I think it
and it has in certain sections and areas and conversations.
Yes.
Publicly, much like how we've reclaimed cunt. I'm a fan. Let's just say I vote yay on that one.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think this movie did a good job of unoffensively using it. It was very real. And actually, before we get into it.
First things, it's really second at this point.
Yes.
But...
First things second, shout out to our Patreon supporters. $5 a month gets you early access. $10 gets you access to our viewing parties. We did not do one for this because we had to sign an NDA from Disney that we would...
We won't get into how complicated it was to watch this movie, Disney.
It was very complicated.
But I felt like I was breaking into a bank vault.
Honestly.
But,
and in the end, I don't know if I feel like it was worth it, in part because of the effort it required.
It was very complicated. I'm just I'm not even being hyperbolic. Between the two of us, two people who are generally aware and good at technology for the most part, it was complicated. But anyway,
third things third. Make sure to subscribe, share whole. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Subscribe and Margaret Cho.
Oh my God, Margaret Cho. Oh, she was doing some choices, but I was mostly here for them all.
There was some acting choices across the board.
So,
yes.
Let's get into it. Fire Island, the gay Pride and Prejudice adaptation, written by Joel Kim Booster, starring him and Bowen Yang, amongst, they were probably the leads, and Margaret Cho, I would say, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The most recognizable names. Okay. I think we might have differing opinions. I was mostly obsessed with this.
Okay.
I felt it was so accurate.
Yes.
So real. I thought the writing for me was excellent. The dialogue was spot on. I was like, these are real people, real ideas, real conversations.
Yep.
Love that is being brought to film.
It felt very, very personal and authentic.
Yes.
and specific.
Yes, it was not. It was the opposite of Love, Simon. You know what I mean?
Oh boy.
It was like.
Oh boy. Yeah.
That being said, I don't know if it was the opposite of Love, Simon. In some ways where it was still sexless. None of the main characters have sex, and the only sex that is had is in a shaming way. This movie is not sex positive.
No, it went more risque than I thought it would.
Yes, there is an orgy.
There is a backroom scene, it happened.
Yes.
So in that regard, I was like, oh, okay, hey, movie,
Yes.
that's where the realness came in. I was like, okay, backroom. But yes, I agree. It didn't have. Did you see on a kind of a sidebar, did you see the trailer yet for Bros?
No, we were supposed to do a trailer reaction for
We were?
it.
Oh no, I watched it already.
Oh no, that's fine.
Based on the marketing, I'm obsessed. I can't wait. It seems it's gonna be very.
I mean, I saw a
much
still
what we
frame
would-
of like two guys going down on two other guys, and I was like, "This isn't a trailer. I'm in for this."
The way that they're marketing Bros, I was like, I am all fucking in.
Good.
I don't know how they're gonna decide to market Fire Island. I'll say going into this, all I thought or knew was it's gay Pride and Prejudice, Bowen Yang's involved, it's a comedy.
Right.
And I think that was to its detriment.
I agree.
Because it wasn't that funny. In parts because it was so real.
Right.
So there'd be
But I
funny...
did cackle. The writing was great. Well, okay, pause.
Pause.
Spoiler alert. We will be talking about the details. It is Pride and Prejudice, so like nothing groundbreaking here. You know the story, but like definitely I would say...
Hopefully you know the story.
Hopefully.
If you
yes.
don't,
go watch...
by the way,
Yes.
this is a good 6.5 hours spent. Just
You
putting
have-
it out there.
You have 12 hours of homework because you have to go watch this Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
You have to go watch the Keira Knightley Pride and Prejudice,
Joe
which
Wright.
I stand by is great.
It's great.
It's great.
This is just my baby.
I get it.
But it's great.
I think what's really interesting to me is that the Joe Wright Pride and Prejudice does a great job of condensing
Absolutely.
6 hours into 2.
Uh-huh.
And then go watch this. I think it's very watchable. It's not bad.
No.
I think they over-condensed. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it was the budget or what, but like there's only one location. It's only on Fire Island and it's only over a week.
My main issue with this movie... Well, okay, so I would say if you're at all interested in watching this, go watch it.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
No, a lot of it's really good for me.
Yeah.
A lot of it's, like there's some great
Yes.
iconic moments that I'm like, I'm so excited that those exist and I cannot
Yes.
wait to watch it
And
again and be
I
like,
think...
cling on to them.
I think we're being nitpicky because it was almost there. I am so much more critical of
Yes.
movies that I should love that are almost there.
Yes.
And I go, damn it.
Exactly.
You could have stuck the landing.
Yes.
Damn it.
Yes. Yeah.
I think with tighter editing,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a different director, and a better music supervision / score.
Oh, I disagree. I loved the score. Oh my God.
The score or the
music supervision.
So
when it starts.
the sound mix is
Okay.
It's amazing to me how much comedy movies can be altered based on the sound mix. It's really interesting when it's not loud enough or when there isn't enough emphasis on certain words or pausing. The editing has a lot to do with it.
Sure.
Private Instagram. It's like, what's he hiding?
We know his name is Charlie, and he's got a dog emoji and a plant emoji and a stethoscope emoji. What a riddle.
Mainly the pacing for me. It felt like they were spinning their wheels and yet condensing an enormous amount of stuff.
I agree. And it really fizzled in the end for me. And that was the real bummer because it starts and Joel Kim Booster has horrid dialogue over narration.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Did you like the Fox Searchlight?
No.
I thought that was really jarring and bizarre.
I was confused as to why it was there.
So basically the Fox Searchlight logo comes up
Dun, dun,
and there's
dun,
like,
dun. Ba, 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 ba,
I don't know, how would you describe it? Like gay crowd chatter?
Well, it was like...
It was like, yes, oh my God.
No, it was like them doing like gay a cappella
Of the
thing. And I was like, oh, are we going to open on them doing movie night? And they're all watching
and
together.
or they're a cappella-ing.
And they're just like,
And it's them on the couch. That would have been really cute.
Right.
That would have worked.
Like, oh, now we know this family, right? It's movie night. There's a thunderstorm.
Mm-hmm.
They're all cuddled together, and they're like, oh, it's time for that. Like, pop, pop, But okay, I
That's
get
a
it.
thing we do.
I know.
That would have been a perfect way to integrate this in the way it's handled here. I was like, oh no, is this the director's commentary or something? Like, am I listening to the wrong audio track? And I was like, what? I was so jarred.
It was jarring.
I was like, what? And then, yes.
And then it goes into...
Absolutely atrocious. I'm sorry. It was atrocious VO.
For whatever reason, call it magic, time sort of works differently here. And that is our makeshift little family.
It was not only the writing of it was like really heavy, but then also his delivery is so wooden.
It felt like when they dragged Harrison Ford back into the recording studio for Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Replicants weren't supposed to have feelings. Neither were Blade Runners. What the hell was happening to me?
It was like, we need
Redux.
to punch this up in post and make it work kind of
It
moment.
felt like a post decision.
And what the real big thing for me was that he just was so wooden
I'm
in
gonna be
it.
honest. I don't think he was a great actor. There was moments where it felt really real, really true. I don't know if he carried this movie.
I don't know if he carried the movie. It certainly started and I was like, but wait, Bowen is Lizzie, right? But Bowen is Lizzie.
That's what I thought.
But then in the middle, I really came around and I was like, because I was like, there's no chemistry between him and Darcy. Like, what's going on? This isn't working at all.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of into it. And I was like, wait, I'm really warming up to both of them. I'm kind of into this.
Yeah.
And then it fizzled out and I never really got it. Whereas like Bowen and Bingley, I forget his actual name, Connor or something.
Sean?
No. Charlie?
It was Charlie because wasn't it a weird thing that his name was Charlie and then there's that whole joke about artisan Speedos and he has Charlie written on his butt?
Yes, that's
Wasn't
true.
that strange?
A little bit, yeah.
In my mind, that it could have said anybody's name.
Right.
And so I thought that was strange.
It says Andrew Christian on your ass, right.
Or even just
With a weird cutout above your dick. Just a little peekaboo.
Shaft only. It was just like that. There was just moments where I was like, why that choice?
Yeah.
Now I'm confused. Does this pediatrician also have an artisan Speedo label?
Line? Right.
No, but it was just like a couple of those moments
Or
where I
did
was
he
like,
pick them because his name is Charlie? Is it,
It
like,
just seemed like
you're
a-
browsing through the
like a
gift
ra-
shop and you pick the Speedo with your name? You know? Oh,
But
shit.
it wasn't him
They
wearing
don't have
them.
an Avaryl. Oh, that
it was
wasn't him.
It was a friend. It was a random friend at the party, and I was just like, what was this?
Yeah.
What was that choice?
Yeah, that was. Anyway, yeah.
But yeah, so the VO was
Oof, it was rough.
It felt like a post decision.
Yeah.
Like, so let's take VO that I think works perfectly. Bridget Jones Diary.
Maybe this was the mysterious Mr. Right I'd been waiting my whole life to meet. Maybe not.
That whole movie is
A diary.
Is a diary. They've you know
Because that was
wrapped-
my first question. I was like, who is he talking to? Sorry to cut you off, but like, who
you
is
know
he talking
who he was
to?
talking to. The straights in the audience.
Well, yes.
I mean, it was so heavy-handed and apparent. I mean, everything was addressed like, you know, like when we weren't allowed to even exist in the past, when we,
Sure.
and it was this like weird separating device from the audience, and it was like, this is clearly for the straights that wandered into the
theater.
wandered into the streaming service. They're like, come on, guys, join me on this.
I mean, the drug explainer I felt like was useful because I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily know all the different drugs.
Sure.
And that was kind of fun and funny.
If
and
it had been
very true.
integrated properly, I mean, they talk about how he's writing, he's reading all the time.
Right.
Do a fucking journal. I'm
Do a
fine
journal.
with it, but
Yeah.
but in Bridget Jones, it's integrated with the editing. We've got visuals on the screen
Yes.
interacting with us.
Yes.
It's all paste, boom, beam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
You know.
I decided to take control of my life and start a diary to tell the truth about Bridget Jones. The whole truth.
That's a much better adaptation.
It's great.
I forgot that
That's my
it
favorite.
is a...
It's my favorite rom com.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's the perfect
It just
blend
nails
of like,
it.
it takes Pride and Prejudice, but also makes it a comedy and a rom-com and like makes it modern and whatever.
Yeah.
This was confusing in the tone.
It was.
Was it a comedy? Was it a Pride and Prejudice drama? Was it...
But Pride and Prejudice is hilarious at times.
At times.
Like, where was Lady Catherine de
Berg.
Bourgh?
Well, I think Lady Catherine de Bourgh was the like rich gay one
See,
that was
I
like,
thought
you
that
can't
was-
date him, I want
no,
to date him.
That was Caroline Bingley. That was Bingley's sisters being like, oh, Elizabeth with her fine eyes.
I guess that's
bitch.
true.
You know, I'm trying to get Darcy. He's mine.
Right.
Give me, you know.
I guess she did want him to.
Yeah, that was more that for me.
I'm afraid, Mr. Darcy, that this escapade may have affected your admiration for her fine eyes.
Not at all. They were brightened by the exercise.
I don't know. It's hard because with Pride and Prejudice, it works better in Bridget Jones because it's all of the sort of class and social standing.
Right.
You know, we're commenting on that in Britain, and that's such a strong
Well, that was in this.
point of view. Yes, I just didn't think it was as successful.
I thought it was too on the nose about it.
Yeah.
It was very much, we're poor, they're rich.
And he told us that in the voiceover basically with those words.
I think literally.
He was like, so basically we're dirt poor.
Yes.
I was like, okay, I mean.
I will laugh. There were often times where like things would happen and I would be like, but why? He dropped his phone in the pool and I was like, but they're waterproof. What is that? And then he goes, I had an iPhone 6S. Do you think I fucking, whatever.
Yeah,
and then later on too, I love that he's like, those are waterproof now. And it's like, okay, good. This movie there were many times where I'd be like, but what? And then the movie would answer my question. And I was like, thank you, movie.
But I wish that his phone had actually had a purpose other than we need Darcy to write him a letter.
Well, right.
That's all that came of it. I thought there was so much opportunity for him to be like, oh my God, I got lost. I can't text you guys or whatever. Like so many things that he would be basically thumbless without his phone.
Right.
You know, like
this changed my whole perspective of like a whole week on the island.
There was no purpose for that other than we need to have a Darcy letter.
Right.
And I was like, well, that wasn't good enough. There was so many things you could have integrated that would have really worked for that. Like maybe Darcy's like a Luddite and he's just like, oh, cell phones or whatever. And that's something they can bond over or whatever it is. Maybe they're writing letters back and forth. He's leaving notes because he has to, because he can't text him.
Right.
It just like could have been a thing. And it just was like, it wasn't a thing.
Like little Post-its on the door, right?
Yeah, they
have a little
totally.
Post-it. You can break up with him via Post-it.
Very that. So many things
I'm
could
sorry,
have been done.
I can't.
I can't.
Could you imagine?
Burger.
That would be so great.
That would have been great because there were so many very specific references in this that were really funny.
Yes.
And I was like, yes, oh my God, I say that.
Exactly.
Andrew and I say that
all the time. It was very like that.
I've been around people who talk like this.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's so specific. I love it. But yeah, that would have been great.
It would have been great.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a few things that I want to talk about.
Okay, great.
Mostly along the same lines of the Pride. I think overall, I thought a lot of the adaptation of the Pride and Prejudice, the character, drawings were really well done. I thought the Mr. Wickham of it all was really great, right?
I do think ultimately they could have written his motives and what he was doing in a better non.
But to be honest, in Pride and Prejudice, it's not that great either.
I mean, he wants the cash.
He wants money. Well, in this, he wants OnlyFans and whatever, and he doesn't care, I guess.
Yeah, we'll get into. I just thought that what he was doing was so beyond completely horrifically reprehensible.
Well, sure.
That I was like, I don't think we could just like let this go, guys.
And is also very illegal. Like it is clearly illegal to record sex acts with someone and post them on the internet without their consent. That is illegal.
It's revenge porn. It is 100% actionable. And I was just like, wow, we've gone very far beyond the pale. Like this was too far.
Yes.
It was just so easy for the Wickham character to not include his face in the or so many things he could have done. He was just so blatantly publishing revenge porn that I was just like, you're an idiot. Like you're reprehensible, but also you're dumb.
Yeah. Or like
when they were just like, delete it off your phone. No, I was like, that's just on the internet forever, guys.
Yeah, it already got sent to you from someone else. Like, fuck.
You're done. It's the other two. I was gonna say the only two.
Oh yeah, the other two.
The other two of it all.
That guy on Grindr sent me his haul. Holy shit, this is Carrie Dubag.
You have to send that to me.
Oh, me too.
It's his full haul.
You have to send that to me.
That was actually not me.
It was
Apparently there is a photo of a butthole going around.
Oh, my face is in it.
And then Bowen Yang doing that.
Apparently there is a photo of a butthole going around, and
Well, so what's interesting is, I don't know if you knew this, Joel Kim Booster was one of the producers and writers of Other Two.
Yes.
So.
Oh no, I think we are soulmates. To be clear, Joel Kim Booster. Like I'm like, yes.
Well, so.
I want to go to Fire Island with you and have fun. I think
upon knowing that, also the friend that plays the Lydia character, is also a writer on Other Two.
Oh, interesting.
I guess I wish it had been more Other Two. I wish it had been a little funnier.
I cackled throughout. I thought it was really funny. I thought for me, a lot of the dialogue was really good. More than anything, what failed it was the Lizzie Darcy of it all. It didn't work.
I thought that the Lizzie Jane of it all was not handled great.
Well, yes,
I didn't like that.
To me, those were the one and the
and
same.
Those are
that's
like
the important
main
part.
crux
that's
of the
the
whole
issue.
Thing.
It was successful enough that I wasn't angry. I wasn't angry, but I was disappointed because it could have been.
But I think because the Other Two is just so fucking spot on and hilarious and poignant and smart and funny and sad and it has it all. Yes. That I was just like, oh, I wish this was like just that much better. Yeah. Just that much better.
Yeah.
It was trying to take on a lot.
It was, and that's the it had a wide scope and yet also a narrowed scope from the Other Two, where you have to fit within these confines.
Yeah.
But then you were also trying to approach like Fire Island and gay society in New York and all of that stuff.
Lots of stuff.
Lots of things to tackle. It's an ambitious project.
I think it should have the movie should have taken place over an entire summer.
I agree.
Let's get some montages in here.
And then they're coming back and forth, right? New York should be London. Jane goes back to London, right? He's like, I'm leaving, I'm getting on the ferry, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Go to London, great.
Yeah.
He goes to visit Mr. Darcy. He goes to LA, right?
Right.
Where he gets invited to a pool party.
To
happens
Derbyshire.
to be Darcy's house, right? In the Hollywood Hills.
That edit of, I think they might be rich, and that dead cut to their version of Pemberley really did make me laugh.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like this huge architectural mansion.
They exist.
Oh, yeah, but just that edit really made me laugh. That was a good one.
I had an idea on how to fix it.
Okay, great.
Because part of what really bugged me was with Joel and Bowen of being like, I'm not going to have sex until you have sex, and you have to have sex on Fire Island, and you have to fuck.
Yeah, it was...
And you have to have casual sex only, and you need to... Yeah. It was very weird and pushy.
And for me, the reason that I love Jane and Elizabeth so much is that they are consummately supportive of each other.
Yes.
They're confidants. They share everything.
Yes.
They are sisters, you know, and these characters were supposed to be brothers, and yes, sisters fight and everything, but Jane and Elizabeth have such a special connection.
Yeah.
I didn't know why they inserted this conflict of sort of them competing, but I didn't like it.
I didn't like it either.
Didn't like it.
I didn't like the vibe. It definitely needed to be, because that's part of what's so fun too, is that they're kikiing about Darcy, right? Or about oh my God, she's so into Bingley. Oh, I'm really into him. I can't believe this is crazy. I mean, I guess there was a little bit of that, of it's only been 2 days, but I'm really falling for him.
Yeah.
And then that made it when he leaves and is so sad and whatever. I'm like, I guess I get it, but it's also only been 4 days.
Right.
What are we doing?
Yeah, the time frame was a problem.
If it was the 5th trip over the summer and you guys keep going back and having these flings in Fire Island, and it's wait, he didn't come this week, or he went a different week with this other fucker, and now I'm all upset, and I'm not gonna, that's drama, and that's something that's fun, but it was too condensed.
It was like they tried to give the Elizabeth character was also being Mrs. Bennet, right? Instead of Margaret Cho being the Mrs. Bennet,
which she was,
but she wasn't really trying to be
she wasn't pushing any of them to do anything, right?
She was just there being fun, but they really gave that to the Lizzie character, which doesn't make any sense because she's like, fuck this,
fuck society,
fuck society.
Well, and that's
this is fucking bullshit.
Exactly, and that's what this was how I would have fixed it.
Yeah, okay.
Because what really frustrated me was that basically in the end they don't fall in love, or they do. But it was such a nothing burger of an end
it seemed
speech.
Like he wanted his cake. He wanted his cake, and he wanted to eat it too. I don't know why I'm saying that so robotically, but
I would have liked some more cake eating in this movie.
But they had to have this big swelling, we really like each other, but I don't.
It's only been 4 days, but also I don't like monogamy.
I don't believe in marriage or monogamy, but I like dogs, but I don't like dogs.
Oh, I was like, this is the worst Darcy character ever. If you're telling me that he hates dogs, fuck off. I'm done. Push him into the fucking dock. I'm out.
Excuse me?
I'm out.
He tried to have it be I'm not giving in to the standards of society of getting married and the traditions and all that stuff, which is fine, but you got to figure out a better way to do it.
Well, and
make it consistent throughout. That's how they bond maybe throughout. They've got 2 overbearing moms that are you need to get married.
Sure.
I don't love it, but we're FaceTiming with something
Yep.
where it's outside people and they're like, no, we're going to live how we want to live.
Right. I understand they wanted the pride element of Darcy. He was
Oh, sorry. I went to like Pride.
Oh, no.
So I was like, wait.
Right. No.
Oh, no, different. Okay.
Different Pride. He
Different
was
Pride.
so proud and like, he was such a stick in the mud.
He came off, I kind of came around to him as a character, but he really, it's a fine line, right? Darcy's kind of a prick.
Yes.
But he's got that mystery behind his eyes and that aloofness that you go, I'm so intrigued, I shouldn't be,
Right.
And this guy at first it just came off, well, you just seem to be an asshole.
An asshole. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so what I would
yeah.
have liked better is if, one, Lizzie isn't forcing Jane to try and have sex
absolutely
and
not.
taking a vow of celibacy until she does.
You're weaponizing it.
It was so
Like,
bizarre.
what?
And I was like, why? We don't need any of this.
No.
And so it should be, like, to me, it should have been that Joel was just having casual sex because it's fucking Fire Island. We're going all over. But it turns out he keeps fucking Darcy.
But he doesn't know it?
Well, no, maybe. I mean,
okay.
maybe it starts
I was
out
like,
that way.
is it like a bushes in the dark situation?
I love that idea. First of all,
I mean-
yes, the first time they fuck is in the fucking meat rack at night, and it's like they didn't know, and then it was like, wait,
they could do a dumb movie thing of like he has an ankle on his or a tattoo on
doing
his
his
ankle,
right? Oh, there was something. Oh, a tick, right? Like
he
I
doesn't
love that.
notice until later.
Yeah.
Go, wait a minute, that
Yeah.
was that dick?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, if it's the gay Fire Island Pride and Prejudice, why not?
Why not?
And so then it becomes this whole thing of like, oh, they both only want casual sex, so they think.
Oh, in your version, yes.
In my version,
absolutely, yes.
Right? They keep wanting, and they're just kind of fucking or whatever. They keep running back to you. They keep liking it.
Yeah.
And then it becomes they catch feelings for each other.
Sure.
But then the drama of like the Pride and Prejudice of the
Yeah,
two different societies and my friend and I'm trying to protect him. Well, fuck you. I'm not gonna fuck you now. All of that.
Yeah, I love it.
Comes into play, and then at the end they come together and they say, okay, well, we clearly have feelings for each other.
Right.
We also, like, the two of us don't believe in monogamy, but what does a relationship then look like? Have a real conversation about it.
Yeah.
For everything that was so real in the movie about the conversations, the people, none of that applied to this relationship.
No.
I was like, this is not anything. There's nothing here. There's literally...
by the end, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, yay.
Right? Give me
Okay.
a conversation of like, well, let's have an open relationship. Or like, what do we want?
Sure.
Do we want to fuck other people? Do we want to fuck just together? Do you want to not know anything about it? Or do you want to know something about it?
Yeah.
Do you want me to write you poems about who I fucked in the back room? I don't know, but tell me. Like, have that conversation. If that was in a fucking movie,
I'd love it.
I would love that.
That'd be
And this is the movie that you could do it in.
Yeah, you're right. It was like restrained, and yet it still went further than, any
Sure.
quote unquote mainstream.
And I guess it is Searchlight and it
gay
is Disney
movie,
and like whatever.
but-
So maybe that's
Like
why.
the fact that there was a backroom scene where he ostensibly went down on someone in a crowd, public space, I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
But at the same time, what
But
was
that was-
frustrating
yeah,
about that
about
scene
it.
was that he felt so...
I didn't know what was going on emotionally.
Exactly.
Darcy's standing in the corner alone like he didn't know how he got here.
Yeah.
And just to witness it, and you're like, but what?
Why?
And
Like, why isn't he getting his dick sucked too? Like, it made it seem like
And
they
they could
reluctantly
even do-
went into the dark room. And
They
I'm like,
could even
we all
do,
know why you're there, girl.
like that they are making eye contact with
Wow,
each other
yes.
across the room, but with other people.
I mean, why not?
Exactly.
And that's like then the passive aggressive, like, oh, I'm angry at you because you like screwed with my friend's relationship and he was so into him and whatever.
Yeah.
Now here I am in the dark room, not fucking you, I'm fucking this guy, who then turns out to be we could change the revenge porn maybe. It was a little intense.
It was too far.
You could have toned it down just by having it be like, maybe he's like, hey, can I film something for my OnlyFans? And he's like, okay, but like not my face. And then maybe in the editing, he's like, oh, but that angle's so good. And then like a little of his face comes through. Something, it's still not cute. And like that's the point. He's supposed to be a villain and like not a nice person.
Absolutely. It was just so illegal.
Yes.
So blatantly illegal and unrepairable.
Sure.
And the movie was like, well, I threw his phone in the pool and everything was great.
Yeah, he removed it. No, okay.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no.
I can see why you'd want to send a cease and desist to Twitter.
Thank you, yeah.
Unfortunately, that's not a thing you can do. It's Twitter. Once you're on Twitter, you're legally speaking
fucked.
It was a bridge too far.
Sure. I guess I just appreciated, like, in the Pride and Prejudice of it all, when you think about it, too, like, his thing of, like, the marriage and the out of wedlock and all of that would also ruin your social, like that would ruin her life.
Fully.
So it's a similar, like, stakes, I guess, it felt.
Right.
It's just
But
a
then
modern age of, like,
Lydia,
society and social standing.
I guess in some way got some of her reputation back because he had to marry her, and then
Right.
Wickham gets a little comeuppance because now he has to be married to Lydia. It's, not great.
Sure,
but
sure.
It could have used some massaging.
I
I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, it would have been nice if he pushed the line rather than, like, blatantly, completely disregarding it.
Here is a full video of your full face while I fuck you.
Yeah. Oh.
Whoa. Okay. I think I've just noticed this more in this movie because the sound design bothered me. But all of the party scenes, the music was so low.
Sure.
And everyone was just talking. And I know that's a movie thing.
Sure.
But I wasn't like, this song.
Well, and it wasn't.
And it was obviously a miserable shoot because there was just so many guys in Speedos like, I'm still dancing.
Yeah, I'm dancing
it's
to a song. It's
probably pretty cold because it's off season and we're filming. Yeah, Robin. I'm dancing.
Wait, we don't even know that it's Robin because we don't know if we can get the rights, so it's just some generic.
It's gonna be great.
It was a little
bit. So I was like, oh no, I'm sympathizing with the extras. I should not be paying attention to this.
And I would like a little bit more too of the like, what kind of vibe of it all, where it's like we're at a loud party and like it's not an easy place to have a conversation.
You know what safe sex is? Dating men who are gay. And I'm ready to make up for lost time.
Especially when, at least from my experience, a lot of the people are on G and they can't really have one.
Do a lot of things get misconstrued? Yes. That would have been a fun comedy of
Yes,
errors.
game of telephone of it all.
What? We didn't talk too much about Bingley.
I thought he was great.
I thought he was really cute, fun. He seemed like he was in a Hallmark movie.
Yes.
He played Bingley quite well. I thought he was one of the better actors.
Yes.
And then there was that friend of theirs that was like the Caroline Bingley character.
Right.
Who looked like some combination of like Jamie Kennedy and Zach Braff.
Oh,
but like hairless.
I thought he looked like, did you watch Broad City?
No.
The guy who's like her trainer, like he trains with her at like, anyway, it's like they could have been brothers. It wasn't him, but it was like similar vibes.
Yeah.
And also actually I thought that Mr. Bingley reminded me of, did I ever send you that like silly, like Twitter, TikTok, whatever it was, a video of like the guy and like, he's singing, he's like, it's another day in foggy London town. And then there's like thunder and he goes, oh.
No.
I'll send it to you. It's very, we'll play it. It's very stupid.
Okay.
Oh, it's a stormy day in London town.
Anyway, his name is like Dylan or something, and he's like become a Twitter thirst gay.
Okay.
He felt like a mixture of him and like Zach Woods, from Silicon Valley.
Yes. This was kind of dumb too. Bingley's boyfriend comes back into town.
Our ex-boyfriend who was then
they
an
have
asshole
kind of
and racist.
Old history relationship, right? And
it should have been that they ran into each other at like a house party, and then they're like hooking up again because
they are.
They are. It's convenient and like, oh yeah, I don't know.
It just felt muddy for his character.
Yes.
Like I was just like, what?
It seemed out of nowhere. It would have been better if it was over the whole summer.
Over the whole summer.
And Darcy's
out.
like, I think...
He's not here this weekend. He's coming back. Oh, we have a scene in New York. We have a scene...
Yeah.
Boop, boop, boop,
yeah.
boop.
Oh, we're going to stay all week. Oh, Darcy convinced me that we should leave on Sunday. We have busy work. We got to get back to the city.
That's what happens in the, Darcy plays and then apologizes for it, but plays an important part in it.
Yeah.
But like, for instance, so Bowen Yang is sad because all this stuff that's happened. They're doing karaoke. He's doing a sad version of, I did love this.
Loved this. It was great. It was so well done.
Sometimes. But I think this would have been the perfect opportunity for a montage.
Sure.
Because it was the whole song. And I was like, loving this.
Right, it was just
but
a full...
montage.
Yeah.
Oh, it's them having fun on the beach, but then sometimes I run and maybe I'm looking through a telescope on a pier. I don't know what it is. I'm in a white crop top.
Yep.
Something.
Yes.
Give me something. It doesn't have to be a joke. There were so many opportunities to montage, to tighten it up.
I feel like they needed to stick to this more.
Yeah.
In terms of the plotting and the storyline.
Yeah.
And just focus on the adaptation being, translating this thing to the gay version on Fire Island.
Yeah.
This thing, okay, London is New York.
Yeah.
LA is Pemberley. Not Pemberley.
Derbyshire?
Derbyshire.
The countryside.
Oh. Right, but like that would have been so perfect. Oh, his,
Or he's in upstate New York. Everyone was,
Sure.
I didn't realize until halfway through the movie, like, because the voiceover was so bad, because I was like, what? Bowen Yang was in San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Darcy's in LA.
Yeah.
Lizzie, I love that we're just using their Pride and Prejudice names. Lizzie's in New York. I can't even remember where Bingley was living. I don't know if they mentioned it.
I think New York, but I don't know if they did.
So,
Because the narration was just like, I zoned out.
So by the end, I'm having the holiday problem going, well, who's moving across the country to stay with who? And if they have an open relationship and they just, and that's awesome. But they didn't talk about it and they're not going to stay together.
Right.
Like by the end, I was like, well, they're not going to.
No, they just met for a week
together.
and had a weird little dramatic fling.
Yeah.
And it made the stakes so much lower. And the romance of it was just gone.
When a whole argument between characters is, I'm going to spitefully not recycle this water bottle, but then secretly recycle it once you leave. I was like, what's this?
That was one of the things though where I was like, but he's not even going to recycle it? And then he goes in and he recycles it. I was like, oh, okay, great.
It was just such a petty, weird thing that I was like...
It was weird.
What?
But it was very weird, but it just made me laugh that it was one of the many instances in this movie where I was like, he's not even going to recycle, and then the movie answered my question for me.
Love it.
So, quick commercial break, and we'll be back with more orgies. Just kidding. There was only one.
I feel like you're even overselling the orgy.
It was a brief flash to one, but I mean, I don't know how
there was more orgies than Eyes Wide Shut.
Well, sure.
I mean,
but it wasn't sexual. Nothing about this. There was such a weirdly, emptiness of sex in a way that's so present in Fire Island.
Yeah.
And they seem to kind of shame that.
I think it was trying to reach its widest possible...
Maybe.
Did I just say its widest possible audience?
Oh!
Its widest possible audience. Like it felt like it was like the first draft of the script was probably more
right. I'm sure, and then the studio was like,
chipped away, and then also throw in this voiceover for the straights so they can feel like we're welcoming them into the party.
People need to know what the fuck this means because otherwise they won't know. And it's like, well, they can Google it.
It was just like
also okay. I'm sorry. This is just so not important, but I have to discuss it.
I'm excited.
I was thinking about like the drug scene, and also I was thinking about
Well, so basically they all dump. I found this pill at a party.
Yeah.
Here, I've got half a thing of poppers. I've got this, that, and the other. I'm just explaining what happened.
Yes.
Like, whoa, what should I take?
Exactly.
We had 2 bags of grass, 75 pellets of mescaline, a salt shaker half full of cocaine. A whole galaxy of multicolored uppers, downers, screamers, laughers.
And I thought of it because I was like, when not FDA, maybe had to tell straight people don't drink poppers because straight people were like, I'm going to do poppers. The gays are talking about poppers.
Oh, no.
And they lose like a 5-hour energy, so someone would like, no, don't drink it.
Oh, no.
But then, this movie...
Did we learn nothing from Jessica Fletcher?
Thank you.
What's that? If I'm not mistaken, it contained amyl nitrate.
Amyl nitrate.
Did we learn nothing? Right, he did just chug it, didn't he? Or there was something.
He chugs G, which you definitely don't do. No. The whole point is that everyone has their fucking alarms.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know what G is.
Okay, so, and they didn't do that great of a job, I guess.
I just assumed it was, I was like, sure, whatever.
G is GHB, which is it's a roofie. It's the date rape drug.
Oh, no.
But basically what they do is they like have little eyedroppers, and you do just a tiny little amount in like water or Gatorade every hour. And so then you'll literally hear like alarms going off because it's time for them to do more G. Oh. And if you do too much, like they showed in the thing, then you're kind of like out of it and a zombie, which I saw too much of in Fire Island.
There's also, side fact, there's also some weird statistic where men that take, I don't know what roofie exactly, but some kind of roofie, have the opposite experience and are like overly amped and agitated and like aggressive and like they have like a opposite, like they're taken up.
Interesting.
Like something about the physiology or something. That's like a thing.
Well, that might be part of how this, I mean, I haven't done it, so I don't know the effects of it.
Yeah.
But that is people use it and it's like a big circuit party drug.
Okay.
In part because it supposedly gives you kind of the vibe of like being drunk, but no calories and no hangover.
Okay.
But the dosage is so finicky that if you do too much, you can die. And so like him just being like, oh, I was like, no, he would be dead. I mean, I guess maybe that's what happened, was that then later on he is kind of like, ugh.
Was that the excuse for why that guy
OnlyFans him?
Revenge porned him?
I don't know. Anyway, it bothered me that they bothered to explain all of these.
Well, that seems also to be kind of irresponsible.
They downplayed it too much that it seemed like it was kind of cute and not like, oh, that's a dangerous drug.
Could have died.
You need to, yeah.
That seems gnarly.
Yeah. You also can't drink with it because then you can die.
Oh no. PSA.
Yeah.
You heard it here, probably not first, but
maybe.
I did.
Yeah.
I did really laugh that their Wi-Fi password was Cherry Jones, but all the threes are E's.
I laughed so hard.
Or all the E's are threes.
All the E's are threes. And I was like, what?
That made me laugh. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm a fan of this. Because it's Margaret Cho's house.
Yeah. Love it.
It's like, I'm a fan of this.
Yeah. And then, like, the My Cousin Vinny thing.
My biological clock is ticking like this, and the way this case is going, I ain't never getting married.
I thought they did a great job of making all of these characters feel really, like, their friendship and, like, the familial vibe.
Yeah.
I thought was really well done.
Yep.
It was just kind of, and like they didn't really spend a lot of time in Cherry Grove. There was that whole thing of like, oh, it's so hard to get to, and like that was true. Like you have to trudge through the sand or take an expensive water taxi.
Got it.
But like there wasn't a lot of that. They didn't quite.
Well,
I don't know.
You know, the voiceover was terrible.
Yeah.
I'm realizing now, I was like, wait a minute. At the beginning, there was a whole scene where Joel Kim Booster and Bowen Yang are waiters together.
Right.
In New York.
Yes.
And I guess in a throwaway line, he says, oh, he got like a startup job and moved to San Francisco. But I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
So the whole time I kept being like, they'd have little information drops of like, we haven't seen each other in so long. This is the only time we get together or something like that. And I was going, weren't you just there?
In New York.
In New York last weekend?
But also, then where is he going? Did he change his entire flight and trip just because
I wasn't gonna
Charlie?
bring it up, but I thought, well, this would be a big problem for Andrew. Yeah, he's like, I'm leaving a day early. So he changed his entire flight?
That's bullshit. I forgot about that. I just thought he was going to take a different train back to the city.
Nope. He was going to fly home. So I guess you could say, oh, he was going to spend the night in the city and then go, you know, maybe not change his flight.
Right.
But I was like, just sit around depressed in the house. You don't have to go out.
Or all, well, like, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, I don't want to see.
Just go by the fucking beach and read a book and be sad.
I don't want to see Charlie, you know, with the other guy. I was like, just, anyway. There was a lot of like dramatic conceit so he could steal a water taxi and go.
Right. Yeah.
It was weird because it seemed like it focused more on the romance between Jane and Bingley.
Mm-hmm. It was a lot about that.
Which is secondary in the book.
You
know, it's there, but it's
it's more so quick, right? It's just kind of like, oh, they fell in love. Great.
Well, and I think an interesting part of that story that could be taken now is that Bingley and Jane are the traditional romantic comedy, happily ever after. We are both nice and like each other.
Yep.
And if you read Pride and Prejudice, the book, there's like a little prelude at the end where she talks about like, well, they didn't really get to know each other that well and had to work through some issues and realized that maybe they were putting on a little bit of a happy face and they had some like marital issues that they had to work through, where the comparison is that Darcy and Elizabeth got all their shit out of the way before they committed to each other.
And wouldn't that be interesting then too with my fixed version?
Wouldn't that have been a great thing where you're going, this is the traditional romantic comedy that's unrealistic, happily ever after, and this is a new thing.
Yes.
And this is a modern
new type of relationship.
Yeah.
And they're talking about it and they're working it out and they're figuring it out, and like they met unconventionally in the meat rack or in the dark room of this fancy house party or whatever it was.
In the bushes, I don't care.
Exactly. I love that. They got a tick. He had to pull the tick off of his ass cheek, and that's why he remembered the birthmark. Missed opportunities.
Yeah. So we've talked, we've complained about it a lot, but I feel like that's because it was so close to being fucking great.
Yeah.
It's still very good.
It's still good.
You can watch it. There's moments that are fantastic.
Yeah, I feel like I would love to watch it again for those moments and just to identify like.
Again, I think that
the things that I really loved, even just like Cherry with the E's or threes.
It was great.
Like, it's great.
But the editing and the sound design, I feel like made me lose a lot of the great dialogue.
Sure.
Where it would fly by and I'd kind of go, that didn't quite punch. And it didn't land it.
Yeah.
So, but cheers.
Yes.
To
more gay stuff. I'm happy that it exists.
And the representation of
of the Asian characters. I really appreciated that. I appreciated a lot of the conversations that they were having. You know, very real. Like I said, it felt very true and very like
authentic and real and specific.
Yes.
Very that.
And I appreciate more. I want more of that on the screen. I think that's part of what makes the other two so great, is that it also similarly feels authentic and real,
So
even though it's
authentic
like,
and
you
real
know,
and-
pushed a little bit to the edge, which is what makes it fun and funny.
But that's doing such a pinpoint satire.
Yeah.
I think I just enjoy satire more than broad comedy. Which
Sure.
I wouldn't necessarily say this was a broad comedy, but what kind of comedy was it?
And it wasn't enough of a drama. It was kind of an in-between, and that was, I think it also just really was the studio note. I think that
I could just tell it was like, we're going to hack, chip away at
It should have been on HBO. Someone that would have let them have a little bit more of a free reign.
Oh, yeah.
HBO Max, put it on there, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe we should make another one in Provincetown.
Great.
P-Town, you know, it'll be like, because also I feel like P-Town has more nature, like it's...
I'll have to take your
Cape
word
Cod.
for it. I've been to none of these places, so I'll have to take your word for it.
The Cape Cod of it all, I feel like, is really...
Oh, I think that would also play up a lot of the social class stuff,
Exactly.
right? You know, it's like, oh, our family's been here for generations.
Yes,
you know, that
yes.
kind of vibe.
There's lots of this. How you're right? You can do it. I think it could be good. So there's opportunity for more. Maybe it's too on the nose and
It's
so similar
P-Town,
to this.
but it's Sense and Sensibility.
Yes. Okay. There you go. Love it. Done. Great. Yes.
Cheers.